Staying calm under pressure can secretly make things worse because you might just be stuffing a reaction until it pops out sideways. The core move here is learning to notice what you're feeling fast, then choosing your response on purpose so the outcome changes. This helps most if you're smart and capable, but you keep getting tripped up by stress, conflict, or that one trigger that hijacks your day. Let's get into what this book is actually saying. The book Emotional Intelligence 2.0 treats emotional intelligence, EQ, as a set of skills, not a personality trait you either have or don't. That matters because the book's framing is simple. Your emotions are steering your decisions, your focus, and how other people experience you, even when you think you're being logical. EQ isn't here to replace IQ. It's the part that decides whether your brain power shows up clean or gets scrambled when pressure hits. Here's a quick real-life moment. You get a message that feels rude, and your fingers start typing back before you've even fully read it. If you hit send, you might win the moment and lose the relationship. In this model, EQ has 4 connected skills: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, and relationship management. They stack. If you can't spot what you feel, managing it turns into guessing, and if you can't read other people accurately, your communication can turn into accidental damage. Self-awareness sounds basic until you realize how often you don't actually know what's happening inside you in real time. In the book's language, this skill is about catching emotions in the moment, naming them, and noticing the patterns, especially your triggers, the repeat situations that push your buttons. The naming part isn't corny. If all you ever say is "I'm fine" or "I'm stressed," you miss the useful detail. Are you annoyed, embarrassed, disappointed, threatened, or just tired? Each one leads to a different kind of reaction, and triggers are usually predictable: certain people, certain topics, certain times, certain kinds of feedback. What's tricky is the book also says accurate self-awareness needs outside perspective. Your mind edits the story to protect you. Feedback, when it's honest, can reveal blind spots you literally can't see from the inside. If you keep hearing the same note from different people, that's not everyone being annoying. That's data. And once you can see your emotion clearly, you're ready for the harder part: not letting it drive. Self-management is the book's answer to the question, okay, I feel it. Now what? In the book's frame, this skill is creating space between feeling and action, so your emotion doesn't automatically become your behavior. A common misread is thinking self-management means becoming emotionless. It's the opposite. The point is to keep the energy, but control the direction. You can be angry and still be strategic. You can be nervous and still be clear. The book points to small tactics that sound simple because they are. Breathing gives your body a chance to cool down, so your brain comes back online. Reframing is changing the meaning you're assigning, like moving from "they're disrespecting me" to "there's a mismatch here I need to address." Delaying a reply is huge, especially when you know you're activated. And planning for triggers is basically admitting, this situation is predictable, so my response should be prepared too. None of this is about winning an argument. It's about choosing a response you won't regret 5 minutes later. Social awareness is where EQ stops being just my inner world and becomes what's happening in the room. In the book's language, it's tuning into emotions in other people through tone, pace, expressions, and context, especially when the words don't match the feeling. Because people say "I'm good" when they're not good. They say "sure" when they mean "I don't like this." If you only listen to the words, you miss the actual message. The book pushes you to pay attention to the whole signal: how fast they're speaking, whether they're suddenly quiet, whether their face is doing something different than their sentence. And context matters. The same comment lands differently depending on stress, timing, and what happened earlier that day. Social awareness isn't mind reading. It's noticing enough clues that you stop guessing blindly. The friction is this: even if you read the room correctly, you still have to do something with that information without making it weird or controlling. Relationship management is the output skill, what you do with your emotions and your read on other people. In the book's framing, strong relationships come from clear communication, real empathy, and dealing with tension early, before it hardens into conflict. A lot of people wait. They feel the weirdness, but they dodge the conversation, hoping it goes away. The book's point is that unspoken tension doesn't disappear, it stacks. Then, when something small happens, the reaction is way bigger than the moment. This is also where EQ shows up as influence and leadership, not in a manipulative way, more like aligning emotions toward shared goals. The book highlights doing feedback skillfully and managing difficult conversations. That means you don't dump your frustration. You choose timing, you stay clear, and you keep the other person's reality in view while still being honest. Done well, relationship management builds trust because people feel understood and respected, even when the conversation is hard. Here's where this can fail in real life. People use EQ as a mask, staying polite on the surface while still avoiding the real issue, or using social awareness to push buttons more effectively. That's not what the book is aiming at, because the whole point is intentional responses that strengthen outcomes, not sneaky control. The most solid takeaway from the book's 4-skill model is that you can practice this daily in small moments. Notice what you feel, choose your response, read others accurately, and act in a way that builds connection instead of damage. What's one moment today where you'll slow down just enough to pick your response on purpose?